There are days when getting out of bed feels like climbing a mountain, aren't there? Not because we've lost the will, but because the body simply doesn't cooperate. That sharp sting in the knees, that weight in the back, the ache that seems to follow us even into sleep. It's a kind of companion we never asked for, but one that insists on staying. If you felt this, not once or twice, but almost daily, then you're not alone, and you've come to the right place. I want to talk with you today about something many don't always understand: the quiet battle of living with chronic pain. Not the kind that gets dramatic headlines, but the kind that hums constantly in the background. The kind that wears you down slowly, makes you cancel plans, makes mornings slower, makes everything heavier. And when you're over 60, people are quick to say, "It's just age." But you and I know, it's not that simple. The pain is real. The exhaustion is real. But, and this is important, so is your spirit. And your spirit, even when your body is weary, can be at peace. That's what I want to share with you today. 6 simple, heartfelt prayers that you can carry with you to help you lift your heart even when your body feels like it's dragging you down. Because while the pain may stay for a while, peace doesn't have to leave. God hasn't forgotten you, and neither have I. Sometimes, when you live with aches every day, it feels like the world becomes smaller. You say no to walking a little further. You pass on that invitation to sit in church a little longer. Even the joy of going out for a coffee with someone dear can turn into worry. Will I make it through without needing to rest? And in those quiet, invisible sacrifices, pain begins to steal more than movement. It starts to take pieces of your joy. But the good news is that you don't have to fight this alone. You were never meant to. The Lord is near to the brokenhearted, and He's even closer to those who live with pain they can't explain. He's not just watching from heaven. He's right here beside you, in every breath, every tear, every quiet groan that escapes your lips when you think no one hears. I've spoken with many people over the years who've lived with arthritis, back pain, fibromyalgia, nerve pain, each one with its own story. But there's one thing they've all told me: the days are different when they begin with prayer. Not a complicated one, not filled with fancy words, just a simple reaching out to God, a whisper, a breath, a moment of surrender, and in return, they feel something shift. Not always in the body, but in the spirit, in the heart, in the quiet place where peace grows when you water it with faith. Let me tell you about Rosa. She's 74, lives alone, and every morning starts with stiffness in her hips that makes walking from the bed to the kitchen feel like a trial. But every morning, before she even puts her feet on the ground, she says, "Lord, thank you for another chance. Even if it hurts, I want to walk today with you." And somehow, her days are lighter, not painless, but filled with meaning. She says it's not the walk that gives her strength, it's the prayer, and maybe that's where we can begin too. Maybe today you woke up aching in your knees, or maybe your back throbbed before your eyes even opened. You might have thought, "Here we go again." But what if, before even stretching or reaching for the medicine, you whispered something simple like, "Lord, help me carry this today. I don't want to do it without you." That alone changes the whole day's direction. You don't need perfect words. You don't need to be strong. All you need is the desire to invite God into your pain, and He'll come. Not always to take the pain away immediately, but always to give you something even deeper: peace, comfort, strength, and a sense that you are not alone. I know that some days are worse than others. Maybe yesterday you felt okay, and today it feels like you're wearing a lead coat. That unpredictability can wear on your hope, can't it? One day, you're thinking about cleaning the house or calling a friend, and the next, even brushing your hair feels too much. And in those moments, it's easy to feel like a burden. But I want to tell you something. With all my heart, You are not a burden. Your value doesn't shrink just because your body aches. God never stops seeing you as precious. Never. There is deep power in talking to Him when we're at our weakest. That's when we stop pretending to be strong and we begin to simply be real. That's where intimacy with God begins. In the quiet pain of your joints, in the sighs between movements. In the stillness of a night when everyone else is asleep and you're wide awake, trying to find a comfortable position. That's where He meets you. One of the most comforting truths I've ever learned is this: Jesus understands pain. Not just emotional sorrow, real physical pain. He carried a cross with splinters digging into His back. He was pierced, bruised, crushed, and still, in the middle of that pain, He forgave. He blessed. He prayed. So, when you whisper to Him in your ache, you're not talking to someone who doesn't get it. You're talking to someone who's been there. That changes everything. And so, if you're here with me now, maybe holding your coffee a little slower than usual, maybe lying down because sitting hurts, I want to invite you into a sacred space. A space where prayer becomes breath, and where God's presence becomes real again. In the next moments, we're going to walk together through 6 prayers, each one tailored to a moment of pain that you might be living with. They aren't formulas. They're invitations, ways to keep your spirit light, even if your bones feel heavy. Before we go there, let me ask you to do something simple, but meaningful. If this message is speaking to your heart, if it brings comfort or a sense of not being alone, would you consider subscribing to the channel? That way, every new video with words of peace, strength, and encouragement will reach you, right when you need it. And if you can, click the like button too. It helps more people like you, who might be silently suffering, to find this space of rest. We're just getting started, and I'm grateful you're here. Let's take the next step together. Slowly, gently, one prayer at a time. Let's begin where most days begin, in the early morning. That time when the world is quiet and the body starts to wake, not always gently, but slowly and sometimes painfully. Mornings can feel like a test, can't they? The stiffness, the soreness, the time it takes to stretch before your feet even touch the floor. But in that exact moment, before anything else moves, there's a window for something sacred, a quiet space for your first breath of prayer. Lord, thank you for the breath in my lungs. Even if my body aches, I want to start this day with you. Carry me from these covers to the kitchen, from the silence to the sunlight. Walk with me through each step, even the slow ones. It's a prayer of first movement, a way of saying, I may not feel strong, but I am not alone. Some days, just getting dressed feels like a small victory. And in truth, it is. You are showing up. You are continuing. And with God beside you, that first movement becomes an act of faith. Then come those moments throughout the day when moving hurts. Maybe it's walking across the room. Maybe it's standing at the sink to wash a dish or bending to pick something up. That sharp reminder in your back or your joints tells you that even simple things have become a challenge. It's frustrating, sometimes embarrassing, even a little defeating. But in that moment, when the movement stings, the second prayer steps in. God, give me strength not just to move, but to move with grace. Remind me that slow is still progress. Let each step I take be with your help. Renew my strength, Lord, like the eagle whose wings rise on the wind. I am tired, but I know you can carry me. This prayer is more than words. It's a reminder that we were never meant to do life in our own strength. And even when others don't see your small victories, standing up from the chair, reaching for something on the shelf, walking down the hallway, God sees. He celebrates each one with you. And then comes night. For many, this is the hardest time. You lie down, hoping to rest, but the pain doesn't sleep. You shift from side to side, trying to find that one position that doesn't press too hard or stretch too far. The darkness makes it feel lonelier, doesn't it? It's when the mind starts to wander and the body feels the most fragile. But even there, especially there, God is present. So you breathe in gently and offer your third prayer. Lord, help me rest tonight. Even if sleep takes a while to come, let your peace cover me like a blanket. Calm my thoughts, quiet my pain, surround me with your presence. I place this aching body into your hands, and I trust you to hold me through the night. This prayer doesn't need to chase away the pain completely. Sometimes, just knowing you are being held by God is enough to soften the discomfort. There is comfort in being cradled by peace, and peace is what He brings, especially in the hours when silence stretches long and the world outside seems distant. When we speak of chronic pain, we often focus on the body. But the heart aches too, doesn't it? Not just from the physical toll, but from the emotional weight it carries. The plans canceled, the invitations declined, the energy you wish you still had. Sometimes the hardest part is not what others see, but what you feel inside, the slow erosion of joy, the disappointment, the fear that this pain might never end. It can feel like your spirit is tired too. That is where the fourth prayer gently enters. God, you know how much I long to feel like myself again. You know the weight this pain brings, not just to my body but to my heart. Remind me that I am still me, still loved, still useful, even in weakness. Let your grace be enough for me today. I don't have to be strong, because you are. When Paul spoke of God's grace being sufficient, he wasn't speaking from comfort. He was speaking from weakness. He was speaking from a place where pain remained, but peace was greater. And that same grace is available to you, right now, right here, no matter how worn down you feel. Sometimes the hardest part of chronic pain is not the pain itself, but the waiting for healing, the waiting for relief, the waiting for answers. Maybe you've prayed for years. Maybe you've visited every specialist, tried every medication, changed your diet, done everything you were told, and still, the pain lingers. That waiting can wear down your hope if you're not careful. But hope, even bruised, is still hope. This is where the fifth prayer belongs. Father, I'm tired of waiting, but I still choose to trust you. I will rejoice in hope, even when I don't see change. I will be patient in affliction and faithful in prayer. I will not give up, because I know you are working, even when I don't feel it. Hold me steady, Lord, while I wait. This prayer does not deny the pain. It doesn't sugarcoat the truth, but it keeps your heart open to what God may be doing, quietly, invisibly, but faithfully. Sometimes peace grows in the waiting. Sometimes strength deepens when we have no choice but to lean harder on Him. And then, in moments of reflection, there comes a quiet realization that while your body may not feel better, your soul feels lighter. You begin to feel carried, not by your own strength, but by something, or rather, someone, much greater. That is when the sixth prayer arrives, not as a cry, but as a calm whisper of trust. Jesus, even when my body hurts, I thank you for the peace I feel within. You have not left me alone. You have given me calm in the middle of discomfort. And though my body aches, my spirit sings. Keep me in this peace, Lord, and let it grow deeper each day. That kind of peace does not come from medication. It does not come from the absence of pain, but from the presence of God. It is the kind of peace that makes no sense to the world, but to those who know Him, it is everything. Some people will never understand what it's like to live with daily pain. They may not see the invisible battle you fight every hour, but God sees. And I see you too. I see your courage, your quiet strength, your unshakable faith. You are not weak. You are enduring. You are walking the hard path with grace, with prayer, and with God beside you. So when you whisper these prayers, know this: they are heard. Each word, each breath, each sigh, every tear. Nothing is wasted in God's hands, and even if your body carries pain, your soul can walk in peace, one quiet step at a time. Some people say that pain is just part of getting older, as if it is something we are meant to quietly accept without question. But if you have been living with this kind of pain for a while, you know it is more than that. It is not just discomfort. It is a constant companion that changes how you move, how you plan, how you rest, and even how you pray. And yet, there is a truth that shines through all of this, even when the body struggles. That truth is, peace is still possible. Not because life is easy, but because God is near. You may not always feel strong, and that is perfectly all right. God is not asking you to pretend. He is not looking for performance. He is inviting you to be present. Even in your weakness, even in your weariness, He draws close. He listens to the unspoken sighs, the quiet tears, the whispered prayers that only come in the silence of pain. And when you turn to Him, even in your most difficult moments, He responds, not with quick fixes, but with a steady presence that does not leave. There is something sacred about aging with grace, especially when it involves learning how to live with pain without losing joy. You may not run like you used to, but you can still lift your eyes. You may not be able to lift heavy things, but you can lift your heart in prayer. You may not be as fast or as flexible, but you are still faithful. And that faith, quiet and persistent, is more powerful than many realize. Maybe there are days when you wonder if you are being heard. Maybe after all the years of faithful living, it feels like you should not have to suffer this much. Those are honest thoughts, and they are welcome here. God does not turn away when we ask why. He does not scold when we are tired. Instead, He comes closer. He holds us with care, and He whispers something our spirits need to hear, even when our bodies ache. I am with you. Think of the prayers we have walked through together. None of them promise that pain will vanish instantly, but each one opens a door, a space for God to enter. And where God enters, peace follows. That is why these prayers matter. Not because they fix everything, but because they keep your heart open, soft, and willing to receive what only God can give. I have met people who live with more pain than I can imagine, yet they radiate peace. Not because their circumstances are easy, but because they have chosen to anchor their souls in something greater than their discomfort. They wake up each day with aches, but they also wake up with purpose. They move slowly, but they move forward. They trust, even when they do not understand. That trust is not blind, it is deeply rooted, and it can grow in you too. If today is one of those heavy days, if your body is tired, if you have cried in secret because of the frustration and the fatigue, know that there is no shame in that. There is strength in honesty. There is beauty in vulnerability. And there is power in every small act of faith you take, even if it is just whispering one quiet prayer before you rise. The journey of living with pain is not about pretending it does not exist. It is about discovering that you are more than what hurts. It is about finding moments of light in long stretches of shadow. It is about choosing to believe that God has not forgotten you, even if the healing has not yet come. And it is about remembering that you are still here, still breathing, still capable of hope. Sometimes the most courageous thing you can do is simply keep going, keep praying, keep hoping, keep opening your heart to peace, even if your steps are small, even if your mornings are slow, even if your nights are restless. God honors every bit of effort you make to stay close to Him, and He answers with a peace that is not of this world. That peace is not loud. It does not shout or demand attention. It comes gently, like the warmth of sunlight on your skin, like a soft voice reminding you that you are not forgotten, like the stillness that wraps around you when you pause, breathe, and let God hold what you can no longer carry. So if you feel tired today, know that you can rest in His presence. If you feel discouraged, you can speak honestly and trust that He understands. And if you feel a little stronger, even just for a moment, use that strength to share kindness, to speak love, or simply to thank God for carrying you through another day. Pain may visit your body, but it does not have to live in your spirit. Your heart can still be light. Your soul can still sing. Your mind can still rest in truth. And your prayers, however small, can still reach heaven. Now, if this message touched you, if you felt heard, seen, or comforted in any way, I want to invite you to do something. Leave a comment below and share what part of this message spoke to your heart. Or tell us how you have found peace in the middle of your own aches. Sometimes your story may be the exact encouragement someone else needs today. And if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, now is a good time. That way, you will never miss a new video that speaks to your journey, your heart, your faith. Click the subscribe button, and if this message helped you, click like as well. It helps this message reach others who are silently searching for comfort and peace. Remember this, the pain may still be there tomorrow, but so will God, and so will your prayers, and so will your strength. Even in small amounts, it is enough. Enough to take the next step, enough to keep trusting, enough to let peace fill the places pain tried to steal. Because life after 60 is still life, still valuable, still holy, still full of moments worth living, worth feeling, worth sharing. And even with chronic aches, your story continues to shine.